coaches, and Jalen here is our moderator. So
hi, Jalen. Yeah, I mean, obviously,
Hi, how's it going?
It was a great environment for a college basketball game. This Duke Carolina rivalry means a lot to a lot of people, especially those involved in it. And so we have, with great pride, we get to bring home a win on the road. This group has put a lot of time in to keep getting better, and some of the lessons along the way can be a little bit painful. And we thought against Georgia Tech, we just weren't good enough on the offensive end, and we're really lackluster and a little bit lack of purpose and lack of pace. And so we really worked on offense over the last 2 days, and I couldn't be prouder for them. And it made it it's really fun to be their coach tonight. I was just enjoying them.
All right, RL, we'll go to you, and then Mike, you'll be next.
Hey, Courtney, congratulations on the win. What went so well in the second quarter? You just kind of blew them away there. What was going so well?
Two things: a lot of activity on the offensive end. On the defensive end. We were totally accountable to how we wanted to guard them in the middle of the floor, kind of in those highway areas, and then also in the wing pick and rolls. So I thought our defense was so disruptive that we were totally engaged, which allowed us to change direction. It also just allowed us to stay connected. And then on the offensive end, the ball moved. They hit open people, they caught shot ready. There wasn't the hesitancy that I saw against Georgia Tech. And we sort of we had a big week where we talked about kind of our personal responsibilities in our offense, and they each spoke to their teammates about what theirs was. And they all answered the call tonight and were much better than they were the last time out. I'm really happy for them.
And I listened in the second quarter, among many, was really strong and really helped you guys pull away.
Who did, you said?
Oh, Alyssa.
Yeah, I mean, as you know, I'm the biggest cheerleader and challenger for these guys. But Alyssa and Toddy, who the two people that you guys are going to get to talk to, they were exceptional tonight. And they stayed within what they do. And we're really aggressive and efficient and just steady and both sides of the ball. So when they do what they do that well, we're a really, really good team. And I'm glad to see them sort of, Toddy's had a really good stretch. Alyssa kind of went through a little bit of a slide, but she is back. Do you want me to call people?
No, I got it. Mike, go ahead, and then Michael, you'll be next.
Hey, Coach, you mentioned the defense. Obviously, in the first half, you forced 11 turnovers. I was going to ask, what impressed you most about the defensive effort and how you're able to get out and transition because of it?
I think most of all, they were totally accountable in communicating on the floor the various actions that we're going through. And so, hold on, I'm going to turn that sound off because it's annoying. Okay. So they were totally accountable to how our slides and how we wanted to guard them. And then inside the lines, while the action was happening, they were really talking to each other well and playing at the right angles. And when they're active with their hands and feet, we can use our quickness, and size becomes less of an issue. So it was a total buy-in, both in terms of the scout as well as their effort tonight defensively.
Michael?
Hey, Coach. So obviously another really great game offensively for Kennedy. How much more dangerous do you feel that your offense is when Kennedy has it going like she did tonight?
Yeah, I mean, Kennedy's emergence on the offensive end is why we're playing so well. I mean, I think she's a really hard matchup, because she's long, she can really shoot it. She's got a variety of finishes with her length, and she has a mid-range. So as she has added herself into the scoring column, we're better. So that's all we talk about with this team is just get better and better and better, both individually and collectively. And Toddy's a perfect example of that.
And at halftime, going into halftime with that big 21-point lead, what do you say in the locker room to keep your team engaged, keep them motivated, not let them let one slip away in the second half?
Yeah, I felt that when we played Georgia Tech as well as NC State, so the previous kind of ranked opponents that we played, we got into the game and we were going to assess it and then adjust to it, as opposed to kind of throwing the punch. And our guys did a really great job throwing the punch. And we talked about how that wasn't a first half thing. It's like a first half and second half thing. And so just the aggressiveness and the assertiveness that this young team needs, they were able to do. And I think they saw now what that looks like. They have felt it. And then we don't have to recreate it. We can just, press rewind and play.
Thank you.
Of course.
Mitchell, and then CL.
Yeah, Coach. I was looking at some numbers, and tonight was the least amount of turnovers you've had all season. You only had 5. What is that a product of?
Well, I thought we did a better job of going from our transition game into our actions. At Georgia Tech, most recent game, we got into our transition game, and then if we couldn't score out of that, it became a lot of like a lot of just nothing, and everyone equally trying to create offense together. I thought we did a good job of going from our transition game into our second action. And I give our kids a lot of credit. That was after a day and a half of intense focus on it, both with film and on the practice court. And they were totally locked in. And so I think when we go through and we tag the possessions at the end of this game, it won't be a lot of like that emoji where you're like, what is that? Right. There's going to be a lot of purpose to it.
Yeah. The other thing I wanted to ask you, this is the first Duke Carolina game in nearly 2 years or something. How does it feel to get a W in the series?
Really awesome. We know how important as you know, I'm a diehard basketball fan, and I have been for a very, very long time. And this rivalry has been one that has always stood out as something really special. It's a special gem of college basketball. And you saw the crowd tonight. It was loud. Both teams bring their fans. And so this is the rivalry in college basketball, in our opinion. And I'm just honored to be a part of it. I'm really proud of how our kids represented the Carolina Blue tonight. And it's a game I won't quickly forget. That's for sure.
Courtney, I'm kind of piggybacking off of what was just asked, but coming into this game, you guys had 50 turnovers in the last 3 road games, and you also shot, I forgot what it was, maybe around 29%, 30 in the last 3 road losses. I just wanted to see what did you change specifically to kind of get over those humps in particular, if there was anything that you just saw on film that you changed up?
A lot. Yeah. I have to kind of take the performance we had at Georgia Tech. I had a role in that, right? I think I let them play a little bit too much, as opposed to giving them the direction of, hey, these are our actions, and this is the action that gets us in a great position to be effective. And so we asserted a little bit more leadership inside the lines throughout the possession. So we got kind of a first look and a second look that were more designed. And so that led to, I think, a little more confidence and a little more, we're just probably a little bit too young to just kind of play. Right. So, I learned a lot by watching those games, and I got better, and our kids did too.
Should we roll on?
And this rivalry, this game in particular, it seems like sometimes you can get so excited that, so wound up that you go out and don't play well. Was there anything that you said to them just to kind of temper that excitement so that they wouldn't be too hyped before they?
Yeah, our scout was a little bit more business-like than emotional, for sure. But I think that's a great question, and I think those are always the great questions for the players, because I know what I said, but it doesn't really matter. It's what they hear, right? So I would encourage you to ask them that, and they're right here. So if I answer it, they're going to answer the same thing. So I'm going to put that on them. But I know for myself, I didn't get emotional about the game at all. I got I studied a ton of film and made the adjustments that we needed, and knew that, our team's better when we do play with emotion. I felt like, again, we were more, we sort of sat back against Georgia Tech, and we're going to see how it goes. It felt like, in this one, we were like, but I'll be interested to hear what they remember, for sure, because it was pretty intentional, for sure. So I can take any more questions that y'all have for me. You too. CL, you have another one? Hit me.
Yeah, Jordan, and then we'll go to Andrew.
Okay.
Hey, Courtney, just with this kind of being the first of 2 big rivalry games for your team this week, 2 triangle rivalry games, was there any conversation beforehand about, setting the standard for what you guys want to be this week in this game?
It was more about, this is such a long gauntlet, and this is kind of coach speak, but it's really the truth, is that because of it's uneven when you play certain teams, right? We knew January was a very, very tough stretch. You just can't get too up or too down. You just every game is going to either go in the win column or loss column. And, it's like one after the next. So this game was important because it's Duke Carolina, and we feel like that's something that matters forever, right? To everybody. But in terms of thinking that this game is more important than NC State coming up and then Wake Forest, it's just not. It isn't in terms of the standings, in my opinion. But they might have a different opinion about that. But yeah, there's something special about the Duke Carolina rivalry, like I said, and to be a part of it is there aren't words for it. There just aren't. I mean, this is a big deal. We had a ton of fans here tonight. I had my high school coach in town. I had the godparents of my children in town. I mean, people care about the Duke Carolina rivalry, and that was really neat.
How about if we shift to players? Does that
Eh,
work for everybody?
Any more for me before you guys want my players? Yeah, you have
I
one, Andrew?
believe, I believe Andrew had one.
Hey, Coach. So I just had one question. So you guys got 27 points off of turnovers tonight. So can you just speak a little bit about kind of your dominance on the turnover battle and how that impacted the game?
Yeah, I give a lot of credit to our sport performance team. They keep these guys fit, strong, and ready to go on game day because that's a physical game. It's a physical game and we're trying to play it really fast. And so these guys put a lot of time into their bodies, a lot of time. They don't just show up at practice. They're in the training room, they're in the weight room, they're doing mobility every day with our sport performance team. They're wearing trackers to determine the scientific data of how much force they're using and pounding, and so that we can run like that. And so it's a competitiveness. I think it's also their competitiveness, but we want to play fast, and everybody wants to play fast in high school, and then they come to college and they don't want to run. We want kids that want to play fast and do. And that's what we've got.
Thank you, Coach.
You got it. I'm going to give you my players now. And what I can do, I'm going to put them both in the same frame and you guys just pick who you want to ask.
I think we can just do one at a time for just a few questions. How about
Okay.
that? Because sorry.
Yeah, that works.
I think Duke is ready too, so we'll go pretty quickly. So maybe 2 or 3 questions. This is Alyssa Usby. Hello.
All right. Hello. First, we'll start with RL, and then we'll move to Mitchell, and then CL after that.
Hey, listen, congratulations on the win. First, was this the best you guys have played all season? And explain what happened in the second quarter and how you guys pulled away.
Well, first, thank you. I think this has been definitely one of the top games that we played the best in, and that just came down to being connected with one another and trusting each other. And what was your second part of that question?
Explain the second quarter. You guys just blew them away in the second quarter. What happened there?
Yeah, second quarter we were just playing together. We were finding the open players, getting each other shots, and we were hitting shots tonight, and that always helps for sure.
Could I ask about Allie's play off the bench? She really gave you a strong effort tonight, which some people might not have expected.
Yeah, Ali Zelaya is one of the hardest workers that I know. She comes in every single day with a positive mindset, and she just works her butt off, and it's so inspiring to see. And I'm just so grateful to have a teammate like her because she keeps me going. And I'm really proud of her performance tonight, coming in off the bench and just being instrumental in keeping that momentum that we needed to win.
Thanks.
One more for Alyssa, and then we'll go to Kennedy.
All right,
Yeah,
Mitchell.
Alyssa, I was just wondering, you guys only had 5 turnovers tonight. Coach Banghart talked about, after that Georgia Tech loss, putting an emphasis on offense. What was the kind of emphasis on efficiency and how you guys handled that going into tonight?
Yeah, Coach said before the game, throw the first punch. And we took that to heart. And we looked at our 5 starters. We're like, we start the game off. We start the tempo. And that's what we did. We set the game on a trajectory of that we were in control of every possession offensively and defensively. We were being active, not reactive. And we just trusted one another. And that's what it takes to win a big ball game like this.
Awesome. Thanks. How about if we get Kennedy in here real quick?
Thank you.
All right, CL, we'll start with you, and then we'll go back to RL.
Kennedy, I was asking Coach Banghart about the approach to this game. Sometimes, you can almost hyperventilate getting so excited about, this rivalry in particular. How did you take, Coach said she went about it with more of a business-like approach. How do you feel like you guys received her message?
Well, yes, obviously this is a big matchup and the biggest rivalry in North Carolina. And I think we took it in a good response. I mean, this game was fun. We had fun, shared the ball, we just had a lot of energy and we responded really well. So yeah.
And you guys were able to Deja had an off shooting night. What does it say about this team that didn't factor in at all in the outcome?
Well, people stepping up. I think that's the biggest thing. Obviously, Ali Z came in. Everybody from the bench got good minutes today. And I think everybody had a collective effort. It was a collective effort from everybody. So just having those people step up. But yeah.
RL, will be our last question.
Kennedy, the last few games, your scoring output, has it just been organic, or is it something that's changed, something the coaches have talked to you about, you being more aggressive? How do you explain your scoring output the last few games?
It's definitely organic. I mean, I've had this, obviously coaches telling me, stepping up and just, being a threat and stuff like that. And I think I took it in the right direction and being more aggressive on offense to help my team out. And do anything to win the game. So I think I have been stepping up, and I mean it's organic. I mean, this is nothing new. So yeah.
And the defensive effort today, how did you all play such good defense against them? There's something.
Well, we
you in the scouting report that you did well. What happened?
The scouting report helped us a lot. I think we came in locked in, and everybody knew what we needed to do. So I think everybody was on the same game plan, and we came out and we did that, and that's all that matters. So yeah, it all starts on the defensive end, and we love defense. So especially me.
Thanks.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Hang on, don't we?